live stream percussive storytelling. Here we go. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. My name is Corey. Say hi, Corey.
Hi, Corey.
And I work in a drum factory. I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. She said, so hit the cymbal with your left foot. Hi, my name is Corey, and I work in a drum factory. I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. She said, so hit the tambourine with your right foot. Hi, my name is Corey, and I work in a drum factory. I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. She said, so hit the drum with your left hand. Hi, my name is Corey, and I work in a drum factory. I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. She says, hit the blocks with your right hand. Hi, my name is Corey, and I work in a drum factory. I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. She said, so hit the crasher with your right hand. Hi, my name is Corey, and I work in a drum factory. I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. She said, so hit the bells with your right hand. Hi, my name is Corey, and I work in a drum factory. I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. Then hit the shakers with your left hand. Hi, my name is Corey, and I work in a drum factory. I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. Then please go a little faster. Hi, my name is Corey, and I work in a drum factory. Have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. One day my boss said to me, she said, Corey. I said, yeah. Are you busy? I said, nah. Then please go a little faster. Hi, my name is Corey. Yes. Yes, I am busy. All right. So I'm waiting for the virtual applause, and if I can hear it from across the country. Yes. What is my name? Corey.
Yeah,
Very good. My kids didn't know my name. My name is Corey, and it is a true story. I have a wife. I have 2 kids. I have, oh, they're right there. And I have an amazing dog, a super amazing dog. I love my children. I love them. They're right here. But my dog, my dog is so special. But full disclosure, I don't really work in a drum factory. That is a metaphor for my garage, which is just around the corner, where I come up with the stories that you're going to hear today. And the stories are part of a program I do called Percussive Storytelling. Well, what does that mean? First off, it means I play percussion. And everything you see here today is a percussion instrument because of this cool trick. Here we go. This is a stick. Not that exciting. The stick goes up. What do you think happens next? The stick goes down. Sound. Anything you hit with something else to make a sound is a percussion instrument. So the blocks, percussion instrument, the bells, percussion instrument, the table, percussion instrument, the fish tank, percussion instrument, and my head. Woo! Definitely a percussion instrument. But as you heard in the first story called Drum Factory, I don't just play the instruments. I tell stories while I play the instruments. And that's what makes what I do called percussive storytelling. So I have 4 stories for you in total today. And as we go, I'm going to talk to you a bit about the instruments. And you are more than welcome to send in questions. Now, if you look on the link below, it should say, or the YouTube description, it should give my phone number and email if you want to send in any questions to ask. And those questions could relate to the stories and the instruments, or they could relate to general life, such as, how old are you? Or do your kids really, are your kids really cool? Does anyone in your family know how to dance the renegade from TikTok? The answer is this guy. Yes. So before I move on to the next story, I wanted to tell you a bit about the instruments. Some you've probably seen, others you may not have, and some others are just plain strange. So these here are blocks of wood. And percussionists call them wood blocks. It's a great name for a block of wood because they're made out of wood. Thank you. Then we have bells that come from cows, otherwise known as cowbells, because they're made out of cows. Oh wait, it's metal. Sorry. So we have wood, we have metal, then we have shaker. Now it's called a shaker because you shake it. Very good. That's why it's called a shaker. Right here we have a drum. Here we have some cymbals known as a hi-hat. And what is really cool about these is the pedal. So once I push the pedal down, the cymbals move together. And that's really useful because I can play this instrument with my foot and it leaves my hands free to play other instruments. Down here I also played a tambourine. And we have this instrument right here. Normally, you hold them in your hands and you dance. I am not going to do that. But I still like the instruments. They're very cool. They're from Spain and they are called castanets. Then we have this very strange thing. It's a bunch of metal on top of metal with metal things drilled through it. It doesn't have, I mean, it has a great sound. It doesn't really seem very practical. The label says crasher, so I am going to call it a crasher. And you should as well. So that is Drum Factory. It's a silly story. It's actually taken from a camp song called Hi, My Name is Joe, and I work in a button factory. And in that story, Joe is hitting a button with his right hand, right foot, left foot. Well, I didn't have any buttons, but I did have lots of percussion instruments. So that's what I did to that story, is I used the percussion instruments to replace the buttons. So that is the first story. I'm just going to give a quick check to my handy dandy interweb computer machine here. Whoa, we're blowing up, man. I have like 100 million likes for this, so I'm totally on. Who's big right now? Ariana Grande? I don't really know. Okay, so as we go, please feel free to send in questions about the instruments or the stories in general. But for right now, I'm going to move on to the next story. And this story is called The Turnip. Now, who here knows what a turnip is? Both my kids are raising their hands. So I'm going to call on Lauren. What's a turnip?
A turnip is a little thing that has like a pink thing right, so it's kind of like upside down triangle, but it's not. It's like a line down and the swoop that and that. And then
I have no clue what's going on right now. But yes, it is a vegetable. We're just going with vegetable. That's just the easy answer. Now, a turnip does not taste good. And I dare you to prepare me one that tastes good. Not the point of the story. I always say, eat your vegetables. But in this case, get some broccoli instead. The story of the turnip, however, is very cool. It is about an old man who plants a turnip seed, and the turnip grows up so big that he can't pull it up by himself, and he needs help from other people. Now, this story is told from many different cultures in many different forms. There's a potato version, there's a carrot version, there's a watermelon version, a turnip version, and I'm missing another one. There are a lot. But the message is always the same. And so there is a moral in this story, but that's not actually why I want to play you this story. I want to play you this story for a musical device that's used in it. And so we'll talk about the musical device after. But for right now, here is the turnip. Once upon a time, an old man planted a turnip seed and said, "Grow, grow, little turnip, grow sweet. Grow, grow, little turnip, grow strong." And the turnip did grow up sweet, strong, big, enormous. Then, one day, the old man went to pull the turnip up. And he pulled. And pulled. And pulled again. But couldn't pull the turnip up. So he called the old woman. And the old man pulled the turnip. The old woman pulled the old man. They pulled and pulled and pulled and couldn't pull the turnip up. So the old woman called her big, strong grandson. And the old man pulled the turnip. The old woman pulled the old man. The grandson pulled the old woman. They pulled and pulled and pulled and couldn't pull the turnip up. So the grandson called his dog. And the old man pulled the turnip. The old woman pulled the old man. The grandson pulled the old woman. The dog pulled the grandson. They pulled and pulled and pulled and couldn't pull the turnip up. So the dog called the cat. Very good. And the old man pulled the turnip. The old woman pulled the old man. The grandson pulled the old woman. The dog pulled the grandson. The cat pulled the dog. It pulled and pulled and pulled and couldn't pull the turnip up. So finally, the cat decided to call the littlest, tiniest mouse. "What'd you call him for?" said the old man. "Surely he can't help us," said the big, strong grandson. But they decided to try anyway.
And
the old man pulled the turnip. The old woman pulled the old man. The grandson pulled the old woman. The dog pulled the grandson. The cat pulled the dog. The mouse pulled the cat. They pulled and pulled and pulled until finally the turnip popped up at last. The moral of the story, sometimes even the strongest need the help of the smallest. The end. All right, there you go. So there is the turnip. It is a silly story, totally a silly story, because in my mind I am picturing a mouse biting the tail of a cat, biting the tail of a dog, biting the behind of the grandson. Yes. So that part is silly. But as I mentioned before I played, the reason why I like to play this story is because of a musical device that's in it. And that musical device is called a leitmotif. So can you all say leitmotif?
leitmotif.
Very good. And a leitmotif is a fancy German word. So congratulations for learning that kind of difficult word on this Monday morning. But it means something very, very simple. It is a sound that stands for something in a story. In this case, the shaker was the turnip. Very good. However, this is not a turnip. This is a shaker. You do not go to the grocery store and ask for a turnip thinking you will get a shaker. But in the story, this shaker became the turnip. What about this? Who is that in the story? Who was it?
The old man?
Say it louder, Zoe.
No.
The mouse. This is not a mouse. This is a block of wood, not a mouse. But in the story, this block of wood transformed into a mouse. Now, let's address this guy. Everyone is going, and? This is not an and. This is a stick. This is a bell. But in this story, when I put them together, it became and. And that's the power of a leitmotif, because while you weren't here in person, whenever I perform this, you guys scream at me and you're like, oh, come on, play the bell already. And so I could actually hear you. I think I heard Max. Max lives in Boston now. I think Max was screaming at me through the computer going, play the bell, play the bell. So that's the power of a leitmotif. And you guys know these leitmotifs very well from your everyday life from something called advertising in television, in movies, in radio. And I will prove it to you right now by singing to you 5 notes. And you just need to yell at the computer what restaurant those 5 notes are for, okay? And please do not make fun of my singing voice, okay? I'm not a singer. Zoe, stop laughing at me. You're already laughing because I'm such a good singer. Anyway, here are the 5 notes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And the restaurant is McDonald's. Very good. Whoever said that in whatever state you said that in. Yay! Yes, McDonald's took those 5 notes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, and they connected it to their restaurant. So every time you hear those notes, you think McDonald's. And the same is true of my story. Whenever you hear the shaker, you think the turnip. Whenever you hear this block, you think the mouse. Adults, hopefully you're enjoying a cup of coffee and you're scrolling through Instagram right now and your kids are not bothering you. But my favorite leitmotif of all time is the Law and Order one that goes, wow, wow. And that's when it tells you, whoa, you're in New York City with Mariska Hargitay. Wow. And so that's my favorite leitmotif of all time. Before I move on, I just want to go over these instruments again. Here we have some cowbells. Here we have some wood blocks. Of course, we have the turnip, shaker. We have another wood block, a tambourine, a bell. All those have been gone over. This guy, however, this is what every family needs right now. If every child were to wake up in the morning and do this to their parents, the world would be a great place. So I highly recommend children going on Amazon when their parents are asleep and ordering 100 million ratchets. Just kidding. Don't do that. Do not do that. Trust me, do not do that. I will get in a lot of trouble. But it's a very cool instrument. Then we have a bell here that I actually found in a metal scrapyard. And that's where they put like old car parts, washers and dryers and other appliances that don't work anymore. And percussionists like myself really love these kinds of places and metal instruments in general, because no two metal objects truly sound the same. So I found this really cool ball. Then we have two of the more exotic instruments that you may not have heard of, except for my percussion crowd listening who are thinking, OMG, is he using a kind of cowbell? I can't believe that. The answer is yes, I am. This here is a kulintang. It's a gamelan instrument from Indonesia, and it sounds like this. Then we have this guy. And this is my favorite instrument in the world. So if you are sitting there going, I wonder what Corey's favorite instrument is in the world, it is this, the opera gong. It is from China, and it is awesome, but it's really quiet. So I need everyone to be very quiet so that it can be heard all the way through YouTube to your living room, bedroom, den, I don't know, kitchen, wherever you're watching this. So nice and quiet, all right? Shh. Ari, I can hear you. I'm just going to call out people I know. All right, so it's super soft. Just kidding, it's really loud. We call that a parenting win. Whenever we can trick our kids and pull a joke over on them, we generally do it because it's truly the small victories in life that keep us going. So if anybody has any questions on Drum Factory or the Turnip, now is the time to either email or text me, because I have to do a slight setup change. Zoe is going to be my setup changer, whatever that even means, because I'm moving over to a new store. Oh, look at that. She's on it, man. I'm moving over to a story over here. Oren is singing me to my new location. Thanks, Oren. As I'm moving, I'm just going to glance here at the computer and see if I have any questions. Let's see here. Someone sent in and yes, the comments are disabled on YouTube. So can you fix the mouse fell off? We're just going to fix one thing, and I will tell you that the comments are disabled.
I want to be able to see too.
Come sit. The comments are disabled so that no one can post anything, or because children are watching. So that's why I put my number there. Okay, so someone is asking, oh boy, my favorite music. Okay, my favorite kind of music. Zoe, do you need some help there?
No. Yeah. Help too. Got it.
Okay. All right, kiddos, have a seat, please. I'm talking to my own kids.
Why do you let you see?
You can hear them in the background. This is going to be fun. My favorite kind of music these days is either electronic music or I really like old folk music. And that would be stuff like Johnny Cash or going back to Arlo Guthrie. That's the kind of stuff that I really, really like to listen to right now. But as a professional musician, that changes constantly. Things that I like, things that I get into. Can you make drums while you're at home? Yes, that's a really good one. You can definitely make drums while you're at home. Some of the easy ones would be a shaker, because you just need maybe a couple paper plates and some beans, and then you put the beans inside it and staple the edges, and you can go around shaking. You could also make your own thunder tube with a Pringles can, or a drum with a Pringles can. Pringles cans are great for a lot of things. Not so much the chips, but the can is really useful. You could drum on it. You could make it into all kinds of things. Let's see here. How old am I? Ha! I am, hold on, I gotta do the math. Oren, how old are you?
I'm 5.
My son is 5. That makes me, I need to do the math here, Common Core math, okay? Because Common Core is so much fun. I need to group
39.
things in tens and
39.
subtract by 100.
39.
Shh. I am still 29 years old. Thank you very much. Do not listen to the people speaking over here.
You turned 39 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Question is about how I got into percussive storytelling. That is very, very good question. So I'm a classical musician by training, and I am fortunate enough to play with a lot of groups in Los Angeles, do live shows, play with bands, do recording work for some film and television shows, and I also chamber groups. I'm a member of the Los Angeles Percussion Quartet, and so I do all kinds of classical music things. And I got into percussive storytelling because it's really a balance of who I am as a person with instruments. Like, this is me normally, and this is me as a performer. So it's kind of a way of finding my voice and being able to reach a new audience. Because for me, I wanted to bring this kind of classical music to children as compared to adults who go to the orchestra hall or the opera or the art galleries. Okay, I will pause on the questions for a second as we still have time. And I'm moving on to this next story, and this next story is called John Henry. So John Henry is an old story about a steel driving man. So this is around the time when they were building trains and the tracks, the railroads. This is before the age of internet. This is before smart cars and Teslas and all that kind of stuff. People still actually had to go places. But in this mythical story, John Henry ends up racing against the machine to see who can go faster. And so it's kind of this old story of man versus machine. This story has a lot of leitmotifs that you might notice from the Turnip, not the same ones, but the concept of using leitmotifs. And it's also just a super fun story. So here is John Henry. Thunder rumbled. The earth trembled. And the sky was as dark as coal the night John Henry was born. This boy is special, declared a proud mother. He is strong and kind, beamed a proud father. And in the dim light, John Henry did look special, for he was the strongest baby folks had ever seen. And when he lifted his arms, everyone gasped, for John Henry had been born with a hammer in his hand. By the time he was 6, John Henry was breaking up and carrying huge boulders to build the railroads. When asked how he did it, John Henry simply said, "I'm a steel driving man, and I stick to my plan. With a hammer that's true, I do the best I can do." By the time he was 10, John Henry was hammering in rods and spikes and nails into the tracks. When asked how he did it, John Henry simply said, "I'm a steel driving man, and I stick to my plan. Hammer true, do the best I can do." By the time he was an adult, John Henry was the greatest steel driver in the land, with a hammer that rang like silver and shone like gold. John Henry could hammer for hours without missing a beat. When asked how he did it, John Henry simply said, "I'm a steel driving man, and I stick to my plan. With a hammer that's true, I do the best I can do." The next summer was the hottest on record, and as the temperatures went up, steel drivers went down. But not John Henry. He did the work of 4 steel drivers, hammering all night long. One day, a salesman came to the work site and announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, step on up, for I have invented a machine that can drill faster than 12 steel drivers." The crowd gasped. John Henry's friend stepped up to the salesman and said, "Impossible! This is my friend John Henry, and he is the greatest steel driver in the land." "I don't believe you," said the salesman, looking over at John Henry. "But why don't we have a race? My machine against your John Henry." All eyes turned to John Henry. He stood there thinking, and he looked over at the machine. John Henry saw a future with machines working instead of steel drivers. He couldn't let that happen. John Henry picked up his hammer, looked over at the salesman, and gave a nod. The crowd cheered, and they began to get ready for the race. "John Henry," said his friend, "you're crazy. How can you win?" John Henry simply said, "I'm a steel driving man, and I stick to my plan. With a hammer that's true, I do the best I can do." The next morning was the hottest of the summer, and as John Henry lined up next to the machine, sweat poured down his face. "Good luck, John Henry," said the salesman. John Henry gave a nod, and then bang! The race was on! As the salesman switched on his machine, John Henry kissed the smooth blade of his hammer. At first, the machine drove the steel twice as fast as John Henry, but then John Henry picked up a second hammer as he tunneled into the mountain. As the crowd lost sight of the machine and John Henry, the salesman said, "That is one mighty steel driver, but he'll weaken when he reaches the hardest rock." "Not John Henry," shouted his friend. "Just listen to that steel ring." Inside the dark cave, John Henry hammered faster and faster until he caught up to the machine. As clouds of dust billowed from the mouth of the tunnel, John Henry's hammer sounded like 10,000. Just then, the machine sputtered and cluttered and clanged and banged and broke. Down. John Henry had won, but John Henry couldn't stop. His hammers kept going faster and faster and faster until he appeared on the other side of the tunnel. The crowd cheered and lifted John Henry up on their shoulders. The salesman said, "Congratulations, you beat my machine." "How did you do it?" John Henry smiled and said, "I'm a steel driving man, and I stuck to my plan. With a hammer that's true, I did the best I could do." There you go. That is John Henry. Great story, funny story. And then there's this guy. It's like a little ditty. I feel like I should be writing some jingles. So as you could tell in John Henry, there were a lot of leitmotifs, all right? We had John Henry. We had the salesman, right? We also had the storm or thunder. From the thunder to... Yeah, it's a great instrument. It's called a thunder tube. We had the machine itself. We had John Henry, the actual hammer. And then we had him actually hammering. We also had little things here and there. This was dark. Yeah, in the tunnel we had the crowd. Then we also had something else. Whenever I did this motive, what was happening?
It was passing time.
Passing time. Very good, Warren. So that was basically to signify a few years later and a few years later. Yep. We had the steel drivers. We had all kinds of cool little doodads and sounds and blips and blops and squeaks and squawks.
I don't like when she puts her phone.
I don't like that either.
I do.
And all kinds of cool leitmotifs that help make this story come to life. And it's a funny story at times, and also a one that I really like to tell. So if you could send me some questions, I have one more story for you. But I'd love to see some questions before I do that. People are saying hello to Zoe and Oren. Hello, Zoe and Oren. Oren is currently not exactly behaving, so he might have to leave. Not my choice. Ellie. Ellie wants to know that she is also 5. There we go. Ellie, someone watching is 5. Oren, you are 5. Oh my gosh. Hi, Ellie. North Carolina. Yeah, sure. I'm happy to go there. Let's see here. How is it possible for John Henry to be born with a hammer in his hand? Now, that is a great question, but that's what helps make these stories so unique and so special. They're not exactly fiction, nonfiction. There's so much to these stories that could be true and not true. So in John Henry's case, it just helps make the story a little more interesting to have him being born with his hammer, because it sort of signifies that he's strong and he has this work ethic to get anything done. So it's more of a symbol. Oh, thank you. You're already responding. Look at that. Hi, Jonah. Can we say hi to Jonah? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Jonah.
There's the shout out. My favorite food. Ooh, that's a good one. Crunchy green grapes. They have to be crunchy, people. That's important. Okay? Let's see here. Can I do the floss? Oh, totally. See, look, I'm like a flossing machine, and I also floss twice a day in my teeth. It's important. Do I log my steps on a Fitbit while playing? Okay, funny story. This is live, but my wife is in the other room, so she can't hear me. We used to compete with the Fitbit things, and I would get 20, 30,000 steps a day until she realized, she may not have realized, maybe she did, but every drum stroke counted as 2. So you're just drumming, and your steps go up by hundreds. So yeah, Fitbits are great. Can I do I don't even know what that is. I don't have a clue. So what I'm going to do right now is move a couple things to get ready for the last story. But as I do that, I wanted to mention something about this program. So Percussive Storytelling, I have some cool news for you. This is the 600th performance of Percussive Storytelling. And I've done it for more than 160,000 kids in 10 different countries now. And I've released 2 CDs and 2 children's books, and I'm going to release my 3rd book this summer. And it's something that I just absolutely love to do, and you guys being here for Performance 600 is totally rad. I love it. And people were asking, oh, can we pay you? Can we do this? Can we do that? And the answer is no, you can't. I do not want you to pay me for this. I'm not setting anything like that up. What I do want you to do is pass this on to teachers at your kid's school, or principals, or anything like that. And next year, when we're all good to go again, book me. Book me for a performance. Book me for a show in North Carolina. Or can you move back, please? Book me for a show in North Carolina. Ellie, I want to come to North Carolina. So things like that is definitely how you can help me. And the most important way for you to help me is via this social media, YouTube, online stuff. I don't know, like my channel, subscribe to it. I think I'm supposed to say stuff like that. And the most important thing, and what you did via Facebook and Instagram and all that over the last few days, is share this to people. Share my program. That's the best way to do it. And I will be doing this every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time while this whole situation is going on. So every Monday, come and join me. Next Monday, I'll be doing new stories. And we'll just keep going and do more and more and more and more. So I'm going to finish with this last story because it's my favorite story ever. It's awesome. It's called Tikki Tembo.
No, stop them.
That's right. It is a great story about two brothers who have rather different names. One brother's name is kind of short, and it is Chang. The other brother has a slightly longer name, and it is Tikki Tembo, no so Rambo, Chara, Richie, Pipper, Bimbo. Yeah, just like that. And it's because the name sounded so rhythmic. So listen to this. Tikki Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Charibari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo. Because it sounded so rhythmic, I thought that I would use a drum to help tell the story. And if any of you guys are wondering, I have a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. There's the dog. Okay, so this is Tikki Tembo, and I'm going to issue you guys a challenge afterwards to win a free album of mine. So first, just listen to the story, and we'll go from there. Once upon a time, there was a custom of all the fathers and mothers in China to give their first sons great, long names. But second sons are given hardly any name at all. In a small mountain village, there lived a mother who had 2 little sons. Her second son she called Chang, which meant little, but her first son she called Tikki Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Charibari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo, which meant the most wonderful thing in the whole wide world. Now every morning the mother went to wash in a little stream near her home, and the 2 boys always went chattering along with her. And near the stream was an old well. Don't go near the well, warned the mother, or you will surely fall in. Now the boys did not always listen to their mother. And one day they were walking on the well, they were playing on the well, they were bouncing on the well. And Chang fell into the well. So, Tikki Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Charibari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo ran as fast as his little legs could carry him to his mother and said, "Most honorable mother, come quick, Chang is at the bottom of the well." "Oh, that miserable child," said his mother. "Run quickly and get the old man with the ladder to fish him out." So, Tikki Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Charibari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo ran as fast as his little legs could carry him to the old man with the ladder and said, oh man, come quick, Chang is at the bottom of the well." The old man with the ladder just sighed and said, Chang. And he ran as fast as his old legs could carry him. Step over step, he went into the well, then step over step, out of the well with the little boy in his arms. Then he pumped water out of him, pushed the air into him, pumped water out of him, pushed the air into him. And soon Chang was as good as new. Now, for many months, the boys did not go near the well. But after the moon festival, they ran to the well to eat their rice cakes. They ate on the well, they played on the well, they bounced on the well, they tiptoed on the well. And Tikki Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Charibari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo fell into the well. So Chang ran as fast as his little legs could carry him to his mother and said, "Most honorable mother, come quick, Tikki Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Charibari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo to the bottom of the well." "The water roars, little one. I cannot hear you." So Chang raised his voice and cried, "Most honorable mother, child, what are you trying to say?" Rambo, Tikki, he gasped. Pip, is at the bottom of the well." "Oh, my son, surely the evil spirits have bewitched your tongue. Speak your brother's name with respect." Well, poor little Chang was out of breath all from saying that great long name, and he didn't think he could say it one more time. But then he thought of his brother at the bottom of the well, alone and cold. So he took a deep breath and slowly, very, very slowly, said, "Most honorable mother, Tikki, Tikki, Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Chari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo is at the bottom of the well. Oh no," guessed his mother. "Run quickly and get the old man with the ladder to fish him out." So Che ran as fast as his little legs could carry him to his mother and said, "Most honorable mother, old man, come quick, Tikki, Tikki, Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Chari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo is at the bottom of the well." And the old man with the ladder ran as fast as his old legs could carry him. Step over step, step over step, he went into the well. Then step over step out of the well with the little boy in his arms. And he pumped water out of him, pushed the air into him, pumped water out of him, pushed the air into him. But Tikki, Tikki, Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Chari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo had been in the well for so long because of his great long name that the moon rose many times before he was quite the same again. And from that day to this, the Chinese have always thought it wise to give all of their children little, short names. The end. There you go. So that is Tikki, Tikki, Tembo with a guest cameo by our dog Penny, who apparently really likes Tikki, Tikki, Tembo, I guess. It's a great story. It's a hilarious story. And here's where I challenge you. So here's the challenge. I want you as a family to send videos via Facebook or Instagram and tag me in them of a short video clip of you guys trying to say the name Tikki, Tikki, Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Chari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo. Right? And you post those, you tag me in it, and I will choose a winner, and whoever wins will get a free album of mine. You can pick either The Lost Bicycle or you can pick Drum Factory. So again, the name is Tikki, Tikki, Tembo, Nosa, Rimbo, Chari, Richie, Pipberry, Bimbo. Come up with some crazy idea. I know you guys have the time. Trust me, we all have the time. So come up with something crazy, post it, tag me, like the video, subscribe to my channel, do the doohickeys with the whatchamacallits and the thingamajiggies on the interweb machine. Come back next Monday, same exact time, for some new stories. Maybe a couple I'll repeat, but mostly new stories. And just keep coming back every Monday at 9. Let's have some fun together. Adults, I hope you enjoyed. Kids, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to send me questions. I'll try to get back to you. Thank you to my tech crew. Yeah. I need to go pay them now, and probably candy is most likely what it's going to be. And to everyone else out there, stay safe, have fun. Thank you, and I will see you again next week.